Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Amazing Outdoors. This podcast is being presented by Uplnd Outfitters, home of the Relentless pants, man. Those things are awesome. I had them out this week, and I pretty much, since I started the partnership with Jason, have been wearing those pants out anytime over the summer here where I had to do any work at the farm or dog training. I've even had them on the boat a little bit. They are tough as nails. I have yet to see a pull 'em thread. I've been in some nasty briars. They really held up a lot better than I thought. I can't recommend them enough. Hunting season is around the corner. Make sure you use discount code AMAZING, and I believe Jason is still offering 20% off on the Relentless pants. So pick up a pair before hunting season is upon us, and you're out in the woods with a pair of ripped up pair of pants and sweating, unnecessarily, because Jason's pants and the Relentless pants are top notch and breathable, light. So you're going to want them this early season. Make sure you get them now. I also have a quick announcement. We've got another kind of temporary partnership with Chippewa River Custom Rods. Tom is going to be offering 10% off with discount code AMAZING10. AMAZING10. And it's all caps. If you decide to call him for a custom rod, just make sure you tell him that you heard about custom rods on Amazing Outdoors podcast, and he will make sure that you get hooked up with a discount. All that information for both sponsors and partners are going to be in the show notes, so please support the podcast and these great companies. They are really good partners for the podcast, and I would like to see our listeners support them as well. So look them up, Uplnd Outfitters and Chippewa River Custom Rods. Enjoy today's show. You're listening to Amazing Outdoors. This is episode 33. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great fall. I've been out looking for birds and doing some musky fishing. It's been kind of exceptional. The weather's been super nice, not super great for running dogs or musky fishing, but just being outdoors, it's been a treat this fall. Before we get to today's episode, I want to mention the podcast is being presented by Upland Outfitters. The Relentless pants I've been using every time I've been in the woods really since midsummer when I got the first pair of pants, and they've just been killer, absolutely killer. I was in some nasty raspberry briars in an aspen cut with at Cut and Covey's Drew over from Instagram a couple weeks ago, and then I've been in and out of different aspen cuts since then with the dogs, and these things have absolutely held up to their name. So make sure you support the podcast. Jason gives you 20% off. Promo code AMAZING. That's that. For this episode, I do want to mention Chippewa River Custom Rods. You know, mention my name over there with Tom, and he's definitely probably going to give you a little bit of a discount. I think it's 10%. I fit musky fly fish and smallmouth fish with his rod solely. The one-piece Predator rod that he has is an unbelievable rod. The downfall is when you break it, there's really no other section to replace. So a little in a hindsight, you know, might look at a couple two-piece rods, but regardless, I still love my one-piece. And if you're better at transporting and care than I am, you know, you should really look at one of these rods. They're unbelievable for musky fishing. Would think they would work great for steelhead and other larger predator type fish. They're just have a backbone to them that's unlike anything that you've ever held. If you fish with even two-piece rods, kills with a feeling of a four-piece rod. It's just unbelievable. There's really something I can't even describe it. Check out Chippewa River Custom Rods over there in Holcomb, Wisconsin. Tom Shank, great guy. I do want to give a couple quick shout outs before this episode. RiverRatUS, they've become a partner here at Amazing Outdoors. I'm running one of their boats for the guide business. It's unbelievable. I had the owner up. That'll be part of this episode. Let me know if you're interested and you're in the Midwest, you want to take a look at one of these boats. I'd be happy to show you mine and kind of how I rig it, help facilitate any questions you have with them. It's feel free to reach out, email, whatever. Bryan at amazing.com, or RiverRatUS is a fantastic little vessel, and it's helped me get into some water that I didn't think I was going to be able to get a boat into other than a canoe. And then this summer when the water was super low, it was really the only option I had. So unbelievable boat to have in the arsenal here. Big shout out to Bryan and his team for putting together a great boat. The other shout outs is Treeland Resort. They put on a fantastic event. I had the opportunity with Bryan and another gentleman to attend the 6th annual Musky Fly Fishing Championship at Treeland Resort up in Hayward, Wisconsin. Another shout out back to Chippewa River Rod Company. He was a sponsor of the event. If you haven't checked out the episode I did with Tom, episode 23, go back and check it out. It's a great episode. We talk about his rods and kind of his story. Musky Fool, Dan Donovan down in Madison, big sponsor to the event. Episode 20, I sat down with Dan. So check that interview out. Big shout out to him. The guys at the Fly Angler, Musky Fly Tool Company, a lot of different local businesses supported that tournament. And I'm super happy to have a chance to fish in it this year. Let's get on to today's episode. I think we're at episode 33, and I sit down with Bryan Walker. Quick little note. It was, an interesting evening. We had a couple cocktails and had been fishing the first day of the tournament. So excuse this. Little explicit content warning for the children in the room. You might want to skip this episode if you're listening to this with kiddos in the car. Otherwise, we tried to be pretty good boys, but we got off on a few tangents. We talked about the tournament. We talked about RiverRatUS, their boat, and we just kind of bullshitted a little bit. So it was a little raw and fun to sit down with Bryan after a few cocktails and chat about our endeavors for the day and in his product. So enjoy today's episode.
It's been a long day. Say the least. It's all right. It's just
Power supply? All right, cool.
Yeah.
We didn't even discuss what we're going to all talk about, but I guess we could just fucking roll with it.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing all day.
Winging it. All right. Well, I'm just ecstatic to kind of get this out and have an opportunity to both be here and with you, Mr. Bryan Walker from RiverRatUS. We just got done
With the longest day ever.
How did your buddy put it?
Oh,
Kill your arm all day.
Throw your arm out all day and kill your liver at night.
Well, we're into the kill your liver at night part, so
That's right.
a little explicit content warning. We are at Treeland Resort in northern Wisconsin, on the banks of the Chippewa flowage. We tried our hand at musky fishing with flies today, and we had more than a little epic fail.
I think some of us tried to fish for muskies today, and others were just trying to figure out how to cast a 5-foot fly.
You are the only one in the boat that I think can honestly say that they had a bite today.
Yeah. Well, I guess I can say that.
And I think after looking at the board, hey, you're one of the few who had contact.
Yeah, there wasn't that many. I was surprised at that.
It's fly fishing.
Yeah.
We tie one hand behind our back when we musky fish up here. It's different, as you learned.
It is definitely different. Chucking huge streamers on stiff rods. Holy cow.
Although not stiff enough to withstand me.
Well, I know you're going to blame me for that.
I'm not. I didn't. Just blame myself.
At some point today, that's going to come up. So I got the boat stuck, and he broke a rod. So somehow that equated to it was a joint effort on a broken rod.
Yeah, that was only slightly a public opinion.
I'm pretty sure it was just your opinion.
I'm trying to justify the brand new rod that, well, not quite brand new, but my favorite rod in my box, in the arsenal, that just somehow meagerly just snapped.
It did.
Yeah, it was one of those things where a pressure was applied at the right force at the right moment, just the wrong way.
Does that sound like 90% of life right there?
Yeah. I've been feeling that one lately. That's why we walked a half a mile up the freaking road to only find my fly box in the back of the trunk.
Dude, I told you, if you thought I needed to exercise, you should have just said something. I'd have taken a stroll with you. But I was glad that the box ended up in the trunk.
Oh man. Yeah. After that, I was just, I couldn't, I'm going, no, not again. Not this cloud over me. I picked you up from the airport in an Impala, and I'm going, dude, my truck's in the shop again.
I like rocking the Impala, dude. That's actually, that thing rides a lot better than even my truck. So
it's a comfortable ride, and pulling 22 miles per gallon, pulling your raft behind it ain't a problem.
It's easy to sleep in too, as you found out that I sleep really well when I'm in the passenger side.
Well, and to your defense, both days, you got up early the first day to get here. And then, I got you up extra early today to go throw your arm out.
It was worth it. It was definitely worth it.
Well, and we took the harder road today.
We did.
Yeah.
With the takeout, the delivery, and
and that's why, we went there for that purpose. We knew other people weren't gonna go through that effort.
What a beautiful river, though. That was one of the best floats I've had this year. Nobody else on it. Even with the rain made it cool. The mist and stuff. It was an epic trip down a really neat river that I've never seen before. So it was awesome.
I'd love to show you some more parts of it because, we went through a little bit of slower water than some of the rest of the river. Although the rapids down there, the technical water that you do go through is a little tougher than upriver.
It's tough, I wouldn't say that it's a tough river.
No.
I mean,
by all means, no.
Even by technical standpoints, I don't think it was that tough. But what's tough is seeing the rocks in that light that we had today. That was super tough for me. I had a heck of a time.
I hope we have some sun tomorrow because you're still going to have a hard time.
And that's okay. I don't mind a hard time, but it was a super tough.
Well, you got stained, coffee stained kind of river.
All the rocks are stained
black.
Yep.
Black or brown.
And they just don't show up like
and then what
I'm used to. So
well, and all these rivers up here in northern Wisconsin, maybe, some of the listeners, I'm sure they've heard some of the stories about, grouse and all the other things, but the whole state was cut over. Back in early settlement. I mean, they logged every damn tree off the landscape here. So they used all these rivers to float down to boom towns where they would then so they logged them off. They ran them close to the river, floated them down. So all that timber you saw in the river today,
old logging.
Some of them are probably 100 years old.
I'll tell you,
they're all sawed off.
Yeah. Whether it's musky or which I'm brand new to, but actually thoroughly enjoyed today. But even for like smallmouth, that's some of the best cover and stuff. If you pitch into structures and fishing around the rocks and the logs, that's cool. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, on the way up, I typical me trying to pack 20 pounds of shit in a 5-pound sack, and I still have to stop at Cabela's because I only had 50-pound leader line. I wanted a little bit beefier. Yeah, I had people coming into town, people depending on me, and I'm like a guy that's never musky fished before. I'm trying to give him his best advantage as he got. I'm not trying to disadvantage him with a couple pound test. And I saw these particular flies that I do fairly well on, and it was smallmouth, and we move a fair amount of muskies on these EP flies. They're just a standard, bait fish kind of EP fly. And I picked up a couple because I knew at some point I'm going to have to put something else on than a bunch of deer here.
Tomorrow might be that. I'm my shoulder in the morning. I'll be in a sling. So I'll be just like, get me within 30 feet of something so I can pitch something easy, catch a smallmouth or something. So
I don't know.
Even though those smallmouth today were crushing that huge fly, I was shocked.
Yeah, well, we didn't even put on any really small flies. I think we had a Triple B partnership out today. We had a gentleman out of Ladysmith, Brian, and we had Bryan Walker, and then me, Brian May. So it's just like 3 Brians in the. Hey Brian, hey Brian. Hey Brian.
Confusing. What? No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the other Brian.
But it was a blast, and actually, speaking of that, shit, I have to call him.
Yeah,
I better text him. We haven't even picked out what spot we're gonna float tomorrow.
Yeah. Cool thing is, I don't have to worry about that.
No, I better.
I have no idea. You can tell me whatever.
So well, I'm kind of taking care of this on the phone here. Let's why don't you give the little listeners an introduction on River Rat? I love fishing your boat, but you got to paint the picture. You're on a podcast here, so you got to be a little descriptive. And I know you've had a few beverages, and so have I. So I'm gonna try to text Brian where we're gonna fish tomorrow.
Don't make it a long text.
Oh no,
be a short rendition, right?
But no, let me walk you into this a minute. So Brian is the owner of River Rat.
Yeah,
RiverRatUS.
USA.
River Rat. Yeah,
not
so
rats. Rat.
USA. So that's that. Yeah. Why don't you clarify real quickly where people can find you? You're mostly on Instagram, but they gotta make sure.
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. But mainly, like I say, you're going to find us on Instagram, the easiest under at RiverRatUS, not USA, but at RiverRatUS. And we post on that, try to post on that 2 or 3 times a week. We're always doing, some giveaways.
That's how I found you guys.
Yeah. So Instagram's been really good platform. In fact, the guys that we talked to here today that know who we are,
yeah,
and there was dozens of them today that's where they've been following us is on Instagram. But we have a YouTube page as well. That's soon to be at our RiverRatUS as well. I think right now it's still under the name that we originally started out with, which was River Rat Fishing and Boats, but that's just way too much. And especially after a few cocktails, I can't say it. So RiverRatUS is much better.
I was kicking on around a lot of different things for Amazing Outdoors, and my last name is actually Vander Mazen. Too much, too much. I spent 16 years in the corporate world spelling my last name for freaking people. I wasn't going to do it here on the podcast anymore.
It's just amazing.
Well, my old man.
Like it.
Well, my uncle had a fishing charter business, a commercial fishing gig in Florida, where he was a commercial kingfisherman, and his LLC was named Amazing Enterprises. And he shut it all down, and then my old man, over the years, he had a truck one time that had license plates that had Amazing on it. Just. So this was all.
I like it.
Well, it was always around. So I was, scratching my head one day, and I'm going, shit. I've been at the back end of the freaking class, the last one to be called on my whole freaking life. So I'm gonna do it. This was a great idea. It's great marketing idea. It fits in, and hell, after I started, and it was like, damn, I even close to Amazon, And it's like. So I started the fishing charter business, and the St. Croix River, which you next time you're in town, you have to make some time with me to fish that river.
I haven't missed that this summer, but
today you saw the epic of scenery of, I think, Wisconsin, right. And the St. Croix has some epic scenery, but
the smallmouth is epic.
They're both epic. I just got a little thing for the Croix because I spend
most of your time on.
Quadruple the amount of time on the St. Croix.
Right.
And that knowledge base helps a little.
Sure.
But
absolutely. I can see where that helped.
But Bryan, there's a whole nother reason behind that. The St. Croix is a little bit bigger undammed water system. And I think it just has the capability to hold bigger fish.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it doesn't impact like the ebbs and flows of the fisheries, like you see,
Well, it sounds like the water down there is controlled by more dams, so it's
not on the Croix. No, here on the Flambeau, yeah. We floated a long stretch that isn't, but when you go from point A to point B, the Flambeau, the Chippewa up here, they're way more controlled rivers than the St. Croix. It's a national scenic riverway, man. They like deeded access out there. If you have property on the river, like, either you're the generation that was given the deed that said, hey, we're got eminent domain, we're going to take this because of the National Scenic Riverway Act of like 1969, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Or, you're the next of kin that is the last generation to have that place, and the feds are going to take it. Most of the stretches that I float on the St. Croix, you won't see a cabin because it's just.
There wasn't that many on the
Flambeau River we fished today.
There was a few. We saw a few.
There's a few.
3 or 4 down there.
There's not many. Most of it's state forest land now. Yeah. That's kind of a. I don't know that they're in the acquisition state in the that part of the forest over there for the state of Wisconsin. But yeah, there's not much property that ever really comes for sale on that fork of the river. The Flambeau is a big river, so there's a north fork and a south fork, and there's other between the two there's a smattering of different properties that potentially could be available.
Sure.
We were in more of the state forest side of things. And, that's our partner, Bryan, calling me. We should just continue. Let me text him. Yeah. But we're going to get back into river rats here. We got sidetracked. So,
we did. But,
your boat is, I think, one of very few that hits a niche, and especially here in the Midwest,
sure,
it's a niche that I think is people have been yearning for.
Sure, that small, skinny water.
Well, you fished an area today that traditionally 100 years has been canoe water.
Right.
I mean, that's it. Canoe, kayak water, right?
Oh, I wouldn't have wanted to try to pilot a drift boat through.
Well, there you go. And that,
like I say, where our boat shines is especially today on this water is to go over those, those boulders, those sleepers that are just 2, 3, 4 inches under the water. And this boat goes over and you can just feel it just drag a little bit, or you get stuck between two of them. Like a rod. That happens.
You said it. I didn't say it. I was looking at the front and I'm going, I don't think this boat's quite that skinny.
we got to try it every now and again, but that's where that shines.
And again, when you shouldn't. First disclosure. There's 2 rod tubes down on the side. Like if you want to purchase the rod holders, like I highly recommend them, but use them.
Yes.
Don't use the front lean bar.
That's right. Yeah, that doesn't work very good.
Especially when you weren't expecting the rock to quite catch you there, and you.
Well, plus then we had a snag up on a fly on the front D ring too. So
that was it. Yes,
get it off.
I completely spaced that out. Yeah, and I put my hand on the rod,
trying to lean,
and I think it got my shoulder just a touch. And where I had put my hand on the lean bar, it was just there wasn't any flex in the rod there, just snap.
No.
That beautiful 8-weight rod.
It is fun, and that's where that boat shines. Even fishing with those guys down in Indiana, on that other podcast, that Smalley Talk podcast, that was one thing that they liked as well, is that thing can get into such shallow water without any problem. We drifted over stuff that any normal drift boat would have got hung up on today or banged the bottom of, and we were able to slide over it, and the width of this boat, I think, is just perfect. It stays 100% stable. You think of you and I, we're pretty good sized guys.
Oh, yeah.
And both of us are hanging off the side of it. And I think I even fell over the side. I didn't go in the water.
Nobody went in the water.
Nobody went in the water, but I think even I was hanging on the side of the boat with the one time we thought, we happened to drag something, a rock, and kind of got me off balance. But that boat doesn't go over. It's steady, stable, and it just hung up and stayed there.
Let's just really quickly talk about what we all had in the boat today. So we had, I think probably right now I'm about 200-ish.
Yeah.
Oh
God, I'm glad you said that, because I'm a lot skinnier now. 265.
I've been rowing all summer, man.
Right.
I'm looking good.
I rowed half the summer. I still am 265. So.
Hey, and you rowed a lot today, and I thank you for that, because I don't get to fish very often in the way I did today. So, real quick. Thank you. But so, we had, between you and I, there's 400-ish pounds just for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's just you and I.
Yeah. And then Bryan, the other Bryan, another 200 pounds. At least. And then you throw, 30-pound cooler,
we had to at least have another
100 pounds.
100 pounds of gear in there.
Plus a 10-pound anchor.
Yeah.
So
we're 700-800 pounds in that boat anyway.
In it
easy.
Again, outside of unexpected kind of bumps in the road.
Right.
You know, it's not, if you hit a rocket and nobody's expecting, I don't care what freaking boat you're in, you're going to lose your balance. And it's a smaller boat. So you got a bigger chance of going over, and trust me, I've been there.
You have a bigger chance of going out. Not that the boat has a chance of going over.
Yes, you got a chance of going over the boat. Yes. There's not as much boat there to catch you when you go down.
And unfortunately, being such one of the smaller guys in the boat at 265, that's like chucking a lead anchor off the side of a boat.
Well, then
I'm going over.
Well, and you throw a telephone pole and a whole entire deer hair on the end of your head.
What did I say today? I'm trying to cast a half a chicken.
Yeah,
so I'm trying to cast a half a chicken on a 2x4. And then we hit a rock in the middle. I might stumble around a little bit.
Oh, and I have not wore a pair of waders in that boat the whole entire year. And I saw the forecast and I was like, oh shit, it's going to be, like mid 60s, it's going to be rain. I'm like, I don't know if I'm not sure what's all going to happen. Like maybe I want to get in the water with a fish for a pitcher. I'm going to wear the waders because Bryan brought his waders and he's going to wear the waders because he's going to get cold today.
Dude, I'll tell you what, the only thing that got cold is after I soaked 2 layers of shirts in sweat. Even when it rained, it felt better than it did the rest of it. I mean, it was a great day and it wasn't cold and I was comfortable, but oh my God, I was just sweating all day long. It was terrible.
This fall or early fall, and even spring or late summer has been it's so weird with the humidity. I mean, it wasn't that bad when we started.
No, and then this morning it was just a little bit on the cool side.
Yeah, and
I thought, that's. I'm glad I brought my waders.
So was I.
That lasted till I was about 10 feet out in the river. I was like, oh, this is going to be a long day. Nothing back. It was horrible.
I know. I made it a little longer than 10 feet in the river, but literally I stopped both times on that takeout because I was in an oven bag.
Oh, yeah.
If I was in shorts, I wouldn't have stopped.
It was terrible.
I
can't walk in mine. And like I say, it literally... Mine are big because I'm such a skinny guy. And so it is like an oven bag. And I was like, I am going to die. I think I sweated more pounds off my butt today than I've ever worked off of it. So.
This is a mighty fine, vodka tonic you mixed up here. Right? I'm halfway through it and I'm going, was that the old fashions?
You're halfway through it. I think I'm down to ice.
Well, I had to talk to the old lady when, and I left you in here for, 20 minutes drinking that thing by yourself.
Dude, I can't be trusted with that.
Are you sure that's your first?
Maybe.
Oh, man. So, we had just, again, I've had this boat now since July, I think.
Yeah, roughly right around there.
Yeah, and I didn't get it on the water as much as I wanted to in the beginning. I had bought your boat and then had a boat go down.
Well, yeah,
and then bought a new boat
waiting for us, and then we had such a bauble with what a crazy year with shipping, and your oars came like a week and a half late.
Oh,
because I couldn't get them from Cataract, and oh man, it was.
I busted that oar in the first set of rapids that we went through today. Yeah, well, and it went the whole entire way. Push pulling with the one oar. But you know what the saving grace was? My brother was up from Florida. Those damn oars showed up. I literally got out of that takeout. I mean, like I broke. Crying. We had 25-mile-an-hour wind upstream. Yeah, I can't move the fucking boat. My brother's up from Florida wasting his time and fucking money, and I'm out here fucking around with one oar on the river, and he ain't catching any fish. Like, this ain't a good deal. Like, I mean, When we were forced to the point to get out of the boat and start pulling it on the fucking shore with a rope, I'm sorry, I kind of lost it. There was a moment where I was like, well, some fucking bitch, Bryan, why did it know? But you know what? The saving grace was I got out of that river valley. I got my phone back in service. And I had a text from my wife saying, call me. So I called her and I told her the story. And she calls me about an hour later on the ride home. And I told her they broke these oars. Hour later, she calls me and she goes, did you fucking order new oars for that boat already? Those things, they showed up
that day,
like an hour after we got out of the water. And my brother and I got to fish the next day because we got those oars.
We just
and I told you,
just that good.
I told you to ship the damn boat as quick as you could. I got oars, I got oar locks. Like, just give me the damn boat. I want to get on this thing. Part of it was my fault, I set you up for a little bit of customer service failure in that part.
I don't think it was a customer failure. It was just,
had I been anybody else, they would have gotten a boat and not had oars, and
and we had that happen a bunch of times this year. Unfortunately, we try not to have any of that ever happen, but
they got coasters around here, man. I don't want to leave too many circle rings with this drink.
We had. It's been a crazy year with shipping.
It's been a shit year.
It has. We've had troubles getting rafts in. We've had troubles getting oars, and even just supply chain this year has been super tough. And all in all, with all the problems that we have had, and all the problems that we could have had, and we have done excellent. We have gotten boats out, people. Some have been a little long, but for the most part, we have busted our tails trying to get and keep our commitments, to our customers and stuff. And I think we've done really good, which is just a testament. And I wish I could take all the say, hey, we're that good, but it isn't me. It's I just have great people that work for me.
Well, and you're a small company.
Good job.
That's a huge benefit to your part. You guys can put a little bit more hands-on with people.
Sure.
As you grow, that's just business as it is. Some of that, that you gave, the personal touch you gave me.
So we've had a tremendous year of growth. And you and I have talked about this a time or two where, I used to get calls and I knew who I was talking to, about boats or about questions. And it's been rough this year in the fact that I don't necessarily know every customer like I would know you.
Sure.
Who we had and talked, and communication long before I should say long before, but at least a little before you got your boat and then have continued on.
Yeah, and I'm a persistent motherfucker. Excuse the language, but
here's the thing is that that family, for lack of a better thing, that family, feel to our
community.
The community, that's a good one.
Well, I've picked up guide trips because I've kind of, had the Instagram and working with you guys and everything else. And people have come to me because of your name and it's part of that community.
That's the biggest thing I see on, I see on Instagram, other customers or people that have our boats that had a problem or had to leave. And so they lent their boat to another guy to run, some fishing trips for them, and then that guy has had our boat and had to give it back. And then, and then contacted us. But it's that community thing of being able to help everybody and everybody wanting to just be a part of this, and that boat being the catalyst for that,
bringing us together.
Yeah, is what we set out to do. So whether you get me directly on the phone, hey, call my office, talk to Kylie. You know, I mean, she's awesome. She's my daughter. I'm not gonna, hide the fact that we're a family-owned company. But that gal, she works her tail off, and she does a great job.
Well, and you can give me a holler too. I mean, I'm using the damn thing all the time, and I'm a guide, and I can give you a different perspective. For at least, I'm not paid to give you a perspective either.
And that's the
beauty of Instagram.
But it's a community. So you get on Instagram, and all of us on there. If you text anybody with one of our boats, or DM them, they're gonna
give you the real deal.
They're going to help you out with whatever you can. I mean, I'm not going to tonight, but I could run off half a dozen names just off the top of my head that I have maybe very minimal contact with, but who contact with us a ton with, hey, I've got somebody asking questions about this and I don't know. And so what can I tell them? Or who can I get them in contact with? Or I've even, we
were sitting there tonight and, that guy, we were parked on the side of the road looking for that, fly box that was in the trunk.
We were just exercising. So we stopped for our exercise.
So we come back to, the resort late because of our exercise. And, we're sitting at the bar. We both felt like it was time for a beverage tonight.
It was time for a drink
and a shout out to was Kent.
I think that's who it was.
Yeah, Kent, at the bartender at Treeland, man.
Yeah, man.
Rock solid.
Treeland is awesome.
This is a great resort.
If you get up here, it's just awesome. Go to the bar, dude.
Well, you have never been on the water, man. This is a cool ass lake to just pontoon around, man. It's the Chippewa River has been flooded. It's a flowage, so there's just structure galore down there, old riverbed and stuff like that, and sunken islands and things along there. It's pretty neat. You can camp out on some of the islands, and it's historic, in Wisconsin. And I've probably beat this a little bit into your head this weekend. I'm a little jealous because I'm still relinquished my Wisconsin residency, and I'm living in Minnesota right now, and I am a Wisconsin boy.
Yeah, but Wisconsin's beautiful. I've never been up in this like I was telling you, up in this area, and I was shocked. I saw a wolf today in a field in Wisconsin, which I still cannot get my head around.
Well, and Brian, we on our flowage, the local boy was, pointing out to us that, hey, you come out here, 6 o'clock, 7:30, whatever in the evening, you see an elk, and
that's crazy.
Yeah. And
for me, you tell me you see elk and I go, oh, that's cool. Or I'm like I did with Brian. I said, really, you got elk out here? Because I see elk on the Rockies all the time. I go ride my horse. I see elk. I go deer.
When you guys are in Utah, so I mean, you're in just the heart of elk country.
It isn't as to go see elk isn't the big thing for me because I can go see elk anytime.
Yep.
But to see elk here, I'm like, really?
Well, I told you in the car, I've only ever seen one.
Yeah.
In my life here in Wisconsin, I've only ever seen one. And up until today, I had only ever seen one wolf.
We were talking about that. I mean, what, maybe
I've seen
half
two.
Mile down the road. And I says, really, you have wolves here? Oh yeah, we got wolves here. And I says, I've been to BC.
Yeah, I was telling you actually, how much they decimated the wolf population, kind of with the conditions, and because you got a hard hound hunting,
Oh yeah, well, but even that, I don't think I've hunted wolves in British Columbia, and I've only seen two.
Yeah,
in British Columbia, I've never seen. Now, let me rephrase that though. I have seen them in Idaho and parts of Wyoming and things like that. since they reintroduced them up there. But not like just out, I've heard them they've come down on the river and been on the other side of a river.
Yeah, you were, yeah.
An elk hunt, and freaking our horses and stuff.
But you didn't see him.
But I didn't see him. I could hear him, and I could hear him running up and down the river. But just to come around the next bend in Wisconsin, of all places,
and see an elk running across a cornfield that had been just manured.
Yeah. Not an elk, but a wolf.
A wolf? No, I said come around the corner.
Oh, right.
And you see it in a cornfield.
Exactly.
That has just been manured by the farmer.
I was just like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
And I honestly, awesome. I saw it, and when you said, I think you said that's a wolf in the car.
Yeah, I did.
And I just finally found it where you were looking, and I had seen that kind of tail bounce, and I'm going, this white, that's a deer,
I said, oh, there's a wolf.
And then it turned around.
It's a white, nope. It turned and looked at it. So I was like,
that's 100%. That's a wolf.
That was pretty cool. But back to the bar at Treeland.
Oh, well, yeah, we've done a couple different rabbit holes, man. We've been at this 36 minutes already. We're gonna have to, make sure we talk a little bit more about RiverRatUS and the tournament.
Not necessarily, maybe the tournament, but it was cool. The guy that showed up at the bar, who had, and asked us if we had made it in.
Yeah.
And we got talking to him, and he asked about what we were doing, and
well, he actually, you didn't hear this, but he asked me, he goes, how do you like that river rat?
Oh, nice.
And I said, and I turned to him and said, hey, well, that's the owner of RiverRat. And he goes, and then he reached over and he goes, I really like your boat. He was asking me my opinion.
Yeah, he was like, I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to buy a boat, for money, for what I've seen and what I've been following, I'm done. I mean, that's what I want, which is awesome. And so for me, for me, that's a big win for me. Well, because to come out here, and we're in Wisconsin. I don't know anybody. I'm from Utah. I mean, I'm a farm boy from Utah. I don't know anybody. But to come out here and to have these guys already know who we are, and that are following us on Instagram, that know, they're not asking questions like, oh, wait, what's that? They're asking specific, what do you like about it? What do you know about it? What, because they already have been following it. They already have been checking out. That to me in itself is a big step for RiverRat, and where I'm wanting it to go.
Well, I'll tell you, and it's one of the reasons why I'm like, dude, come out here, man. Because there's a gap here.
Yeah.
And I saw it when I started, migrating from the trout streams and fishing with the motorboat and wanting to find solitude. And you use that term quite a bit today.
Oh yeah.
How many people did you see on that stretch?
Oh, none.
In the first half mile till we hit that set of rapids,
till we hit
the point where they cut people off,
they couldn't go down. Then it was all
never saw another person.
Whether we fished river right, river left, river middle,
we were virgin,
back and forth, up and down. There was nobody.
100% virgin. Nobody had fished that yet today.
Yep.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
And we get that kind of regularly up here if you put in the work, but it's hard to put in the work when you have a drift boat or you're working with a canoe, because then the canoe ties the fishing capabilities behind your back. So what I really love about your boat, and that's why I, doubled down and not only bought a new drift boat, and I bought your boat because we went through a drought this year.
Yeah.
I couldn't get my drift boat into half the places that I wanted to explore, let alone half the places that I knew how to fish and could take clients.
Sure.
I needed something else that was in my arsenal as a guide that ensured that when I had a client book a date 6 months out, I had something for them.
Right. No matter what the water conditions are, you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Well,
and what
Utah,
what I like about it is not only are you going to get there, you don't need a ramp.
Right.
That's one of the biggest things I need, at least close access to water with the drift boat.
Sure.
I can personally, if I have a downward slope off the back of the drift boat trailer with a roller, I can drag your boat down to the water within reason.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And if I have a strapping client, I can ask him to help me carry a little.
But even that, we took that boat up on
quarter mile.
I don't know if it was a quarter mile.
No, I'm sorry, eighth mile. Eighth mile.
It was a good 100 yards, 200 yards, 150
no,
yards.
It's about 200 yards at least. Yeah.
Okay. I'll defer to that, but
maybe not.
But it was still.
I'm saying a quarter mile because it's way more than I ever want to be carrying a fucking boat up.
Well, if you had any other boat,
you couldn't do it.
No, I mean it would be tough.
And I've done it twice now out of that.
Three of us, or even with two of us, we picked that boat up with, and we wouldn't probably haul it up if there was only two of us with all the gear in it. But really, today, with three of us, we put the boat with everything, all the gear in it, and everything, plus a 15-pound anchor on the back of it.
Yeah,
and we packed it up, 200 yards to the boat, to the truck.
And it's not a
rough climb. It's just steep.
It's consistent the whole way.
Yeah, it's not like, but
it's probably 10% grade the whole way.
At least. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing about that boat is that it's so easy. We pulled the frame off it and drained some water out of it that we took on, getting in and out, and then through one rapid there. We took a little water on. We dumped
a little rain too.
But, yeah, that's right. It rained that night or Thursday night. So
it rained at night and during the day, actually.
Yeah. But still, we picked it up and hauled it out of there with no problem whatsoever. That's the nice thing about that little boat. And I say little, I shouldn't say that because it's still a 12-foot boat.
800 pounds in it today.
But it's still such a nice way to go when you're got skinny water out in Utah. That boat will go, so the Green River out there by Flaming Gorges is what we consider our home water. And that thing was running low, like 650, 700 CFM. And
what's it average?
9, 10, somewhere in there.
Sure.
It was way, way down. I think the last time I was out there, which was a couple months ago, it was running at like 650. And there's down at the bottom, there's some places that are really got a lot of shoals in it, and it gets really skinny really quick. And, we still with three people in that, yeah, you can feel the rocks, underneath, but it still will glide over the top of them. Just like today, we went over a lot of stuff and you go, oh, there's a rock, but it didn't hold us up.
Yep.
And that's the nice thing. That's the beauty of this boat is three people with all their gear in it. And we fished even, people say, oh, it's too small. But we had, you take more stuff. I won't say shit because we're a podcast, but you take more stuff than most. And we still had, it all fits under the seat, dry bags for our clothes and stuff that we stuck up underneath and put on the cargo tray. And we fished today, chucking huge streamers all day long, three guys. And I didn't see that we had an issue the whole day with space or with what we were fishing with.
No, not at all. And honestly, I take a little more gear than most.
I wouldn't say anything bad about it, but you do have a lot of gear.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying.
But it's all stowed away.
It is. That's what I was trying to say is that you take a lot of gear. And we had it all.
But it's maximized for space.
Yep, we put it all away I fished front, and I fished back, and I rode. And there isn't in any of those three places that I felt like I was crowded or pinched for room.
Well, that back, I never got to fish the back. I want to fish the back tomorrow because I want to know what it feels like for a client.
Sure.
Honestly, I got, you pleasured me. Both Bryans rode today and I got to fish the front of the boat. It's it is absolute treat. Yeah. Other than snapping my favorite rod, it was an absolute treat.
Sure.
And I want to, there's that musky rod back there. Imagine having an unfoldable, a musky rod that doesn't fold. So that's the one thing that I think there's a whole nother thing that we should, brainstorm about, because I think musky rods in themselves need to be able to figure out how to fit in a boat like that.
Right. Well, and we figured out how to, because we
where you stowed
put a 10 foot rod in there, where you were having a little bit of problem because it'll stick out a little bit. And I said, if you just move this back.
Yep.
And it isn't necessarily that it won't do it or that it doesn't do it well. It's just that it's where you have it set up and placed isn't optimal for that.
Exactly. And I didn't own a raft first, it's like I got a, drift boat. The first one was wooden, didn't have any rod holders. The second one has these tubes, and there's a spot here, and I didn't know. But it took you coming to town and going, hey, you move that back one rung in the frame and you can get by yourself another foot. And I'm going, well, no shit, dummy. It's almost like, hey, where's why isn't this working? Well, you got to freaking turn it on. But it's that kind of collaboration, and and to me, I hope I bring a little bit of value, because you're a Utah boy, you're fishing for trout out west, and they're you're fishing different water. You're not carrying the same kind of gear as I am.
It's a whole different game out here. I saw that even when I was out here in May with those guys in Indiana.
Yeah, you
guys are a total different thing. Now, I can't say that I'm just going to, give up trout, because, trout's I love the fly fishing for trout, but I'll tell you what, it's a race for me now as far as trout and smallmouth, after even the smallmouth we caught today and the musky that we bumped today. If I put that musky in, I might just have to move to Wisconsin and just do nothing but fish for musky, because that was a huge fish. But and we were in such, it's different water.
You were so dead tired too, man. You were like, I'm watching it, but you're like, oh fuck, it went like that way.
By the time we got down to the end, I was super tired. Just because it's not the way I'm used to fishing. It's a total different thing. And that's the part that I love, though, is that you
talk about the community.
Our boat. Those guys in Indiana and these other guys that are fishing all these different fish, and I get a ton of feedback back. And I think because you've called me and said, hey, would you take a look at this? That maybe, is there something that we can do there? And I'm always open to, to actually sit down and take a look at it, and then put it on a CAD, see what it looks like.
Well, if we can do that back lean bar, I was like, well, hey, what if you did this?
Yeah. Well, and
you hadn't thought about that,
We're producing that right now. It's not out yet. It's on a few boats, but we do have that. And
send me a prototype, man.
And you had made
send me a prototype. I'll work it out for you.
And you had made some comments today about that rear lean bar that I was like, I didn't think of that. That's actually a killer idea. And I'm going to go home and actually try to see if that actually will work the way you and I were talking about it, because I think it will. And if it does, it will change that whole rear end section.
It's just an add-in there.
Just, that's the part that I love about this, about the whole thing, is that the collaboration of people that give and take on this. And if they have a great idea, man, why wouldn't I want to put that on that boat? And if they can get one and say, hey, I talked to them, these guys actually did this, and this was my idea, man, I'm more than happy to do that. Because we want to put the best product on the river for them.
If you want to sell boats, you have to put yourself as a fisherman in that boat, right?
Sure.
And how can you do that?
Yep.
By taking feedback from your customers who are using those boats. Yeah, I mean, there has to be a direct connection. And I hope I inspire you a little bit.
No,
I'm dead serious with this. Like,
everybody does.
As a business owner, like, you get so tunnel visioned on, hey, we've got these boats, we got to outrun operations, we got these orders that got to go through. Yeah. It's very hard to get your mind right for a product that, development that keeps growing. And you need your customers who are out there testing it, putting it through the frickin' ringers to go, hey man, did you do this?
Yeah.
Seriously, that's all it was.
Most of our
and you need to tap into that, man. I'm just telling you, as a friend to friend.
I'm open to that. Every time, call me. I'm more than happy to take a look at it.
You got to start paying me for all these little ideas then soon.
I knew that was coming.
I told you I'm on a 3-year plan. I can only operate so cheap for 3 years.
I'm on a 3-year plan as well. No, but that's where most of the good ideas have come from. Isn't that I'm that smart. It's that because I get great feedback from, Brian Masons of our, of our world, or, Ryan Walker, or the Smalley Talk podcast guys.
Yep.
They said, hey, we need this. And they said, we need a front casting platform.
Yeah, they got
to have it.
I can't do it around here.
Have to have it,
Well, I'm asking you. So you fish down there with those guys.
Yeah.
They fish way more flat water than
their water is a lot.
We fish really flat water for up here today.
Yeah. Well, and
there's no way you're standing on that casting platform up here.
They're not standing on that casting platform going through the boulder fields that we went through.
No,
but they called. They said, "Hey,
it's cool.
We need this. We need a front casting platform." And I said, "Man, I'm working on it."
But you think about
ready yet, and they're like, "Well, we need this, and this." And I went, "Oh, hell, I can." I'm thinking way out of
bang, 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 bang,
like,
boom.
Oh, here you go. And in a couple of days, we sent one down there for them to try, and now we have that in production. And will be coming out. Well, it's coming out right now with these new boats. I mean, it's just totally.
So you got
to change the way we do things, because you're right. I'm having to run a business, which I don't get to do what I consider the fun stuff,
the product development, man.
I want to, which is to
the R&D
and do
the dirt underneath your hair. Yeah,
because I'm trying to now make sure that stuff gets produced, and quality control and ordering and stuff, and so. My R&D.
All you got to do is all you got to do is come. Call me. Hey, I want to come in for fish for a weekend. I've got all kinds of good ideas for you when you're in here for the weekend.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, and I wish that that it is where I get 98% of all of our R&D stuff comes from people that are in the field that are using it every day, and loving it.
Well, and I think to kind of bring this all back home, it's your hands-on approach that allows you to actually kind of funnel in that feedback.
Sure.
And it's a small family business currently, like having that open mind, that mentality, building that community allows you to take in that feedback. Not everybody has that structure built into their business where, hell, we're sitting here drinking vodka and, trying to nurse a few shoulders, trying to text our partner on where the hell, what river.
It's funny that you kind of say it like that, but, My dad told me a long time ago. He says you don't have to be the smartest guy out there.
You just got to work harder.
You just want to surround yourself with the smartest guys.
That too.
And I think that we as River Rat have done that really well, is surround ourselves with the guys that are leaders in the industry. These guys in Indiana and the guys in Missouri. I mean, that's where just for a plug, South Dakota Fly Girl, met her over Instagram, and I'll tell you what, she is awesome. And I get so much information from her. And if I have questions, she's the first one that I can
You'll have
call.
to hook me up with her, because I want to get out there and fish the Black Hills.
Oh, she's awesome. But, and like I've told her, man, I trust her, her judgment. And I've called and asked her time to, what do you think about this? These people or this group or somebody. And she's like, man, I know these guys in there, and I trust her opinion. And that's what's made River Rat successful. It isn't me. It's the community of people that are here.
You decide to associate yourself with certain people too. So you gotta pat yourself on the back a little bit.
Yeah, maybe
not every decision's great, but you made a few good ones because we're here.
I'll tell you what,
At least you made a good decision to get on that plane yesterday.
I guarantee that's right. I guarantee not every decision that I've made over the last 3 years that we've been running has been a good one, because it hasn't. But the decisions that I've been able to make based on the group of people that are associated with us now make the whole difference. Bar none. It's the people that are behind us, that the ideas come in, they get produced or they get changed or they're collaborated on. That's what has made us successful.
It's the real, true kind of tap of all. It's like, how do I put this? It's like tapping into another level of consciousness.
Sure.
And it's pulling in all of that. I don't know if have you ever read or you ever heard of Masterminding? It was a principle by he wrote some great self-help books. I can't remember his name.
But networking.
Yeah, it's the modern term.
Thing is networking.
Yeah,
and that's, of course.
It's
who and what they bring to the table, or the things that.
It's not even what they bring to what they know, but they may know somebody who knows what you're looking for.
Sure. Yep, absolutely.
And that's kind of, again, one of those beauties of Instagram is it almost is this overlaying of networking within inner rural communities and certain niches. As a, like I told you earlier, technological hermit, kind of coming back out of the hole the last year. I personally found Instagram to be a better tool than some of the other ones. And not saying that I like to spend a whole lot of time on it. It's a necessary evil. Personally. Well, it's a great marketing tool. Period. Bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside of that, if you get sucked into some of the personal stuff, I'd rather be throwing musky flies.
Oh, absolutely.
Than sitting scrolling on my phone. And that's kind of my point.
And that boils down to who you follow, what you want to know on there.
That's what you want out of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just like anything else. If you want to find good things and things that help you get better and learn, it's all there.
You just have to look for it.
You can connect with people that are all over the world and that have the same interests.
You look empty over there.
I am.
We're hitting the 59-minute and 53 second mark.
Maybe you better just wrap it up.
Well, no. Why don't you go fill in your drink up? I'll give a little update on kind of what the conditions were like in the tournament today. I don't want to hold you up here from having another cocktail.
Right, perfect.
But you almost fall over there?
No, I was bending over to talk.
So today, we started out the day with a, mild mist and fog. It was in the 60s. Most people would consider today to be like an ideal, perfect. I kind of got like a semi-stiffy thinking about the day. It was musky heaven from a weather and front standpoint. The tournament had a full success rate. So I think there was like 68 people last year, maybe 30 some boats. It is full out 100 people here for the tournament this year, which is really cool to see. Treeland's really pumped about everything they got going on. They've been super gracious and kind to everybody. I think the largest fish on the board was 43.5 inches. It garnered maybe like 19.5 points in kind of the point scale from there. I think there was maybe a total of a half a dozen to 10 fish caught total today that registered for the tournament. 40, like I said, 43.5 is the largest. I think 42 mark. And then I think it was maybe a 40 and then a substantial amount of sub 40 fish. So, I don't think anybody's, going to bed with these big chested kind of, I'm this big shot here today. It is a bunch of humbled ass fishermen that went out and fought tooth and fucking nailed it and got their asses kicked. But hell, there's 100 guys here trying to scratch their tooth and nail for a muskie. And it's awesome to see, 32 extra people show up this year. And, you and I are part of that. So,
well, yeah. And like I say, we're not out. I mean, we bumped a 30 inch at least muskie today. And had you been on the stick, maybe.
Nah.
But we had the greenhorn on the pole.
Well, and that's dude. I told you. Yeah. I got to fish to do most. I can tell people what to do. I can put them on fish. I can roll them right to them. But when it gets me in the behind, I can't guarantee shit because I don't have any time behind the actual rod. I'm putting people on fish. So,
but we were right there with them. I mean, we didn't land a fish, no, but
it took one fish.
We
fish.
One. We had a good opportunity.
You got a T-bone.
And I think that, you land 2 tomorrow and you're right back in the game.
You're winning.
You're in the game.
2 tomorrow, you're in the freaking leaderboard potentially to win. I mean, there is no boat out there today who took in more than one fish. Oh, I take that back. Maybe there was a boat that put 1 or 2 fish in.
Did they?
They were real small fish, but they didn't outweigh the points that you're going to get
they were down in
for like a 42-inch fish.
25, I think, 20, 25-inch range.
Yeah.
That did the 2.
Yeah, and that didn't garner enough points to outweigh kind of how the point structure works so it is really heavily weighted. I don't have the rules in front of me, and I'm not going to get into it. It's just when I catch a fish and I register one, put it on the board.
We're way not.
Hey, dude, we didn't get our tokens tonight.
Oh.
What time is it? We're gonna go. We're gonna have to go to the bar for a freaking. It's 10:51.
We're not getting them tonight. We'll have to go in the morning.
Oh bullshit! I will go get them tonight.
Okay.
Well, we might have to wrap this thing up a little.
You can try to walk down there and get them tonight. I'll get them in the morning.
You old man, you're sore and you had a couple too many cocktails, I guess.
Holy moly! Yeah.
Oh, so
I don't know.
The tournament was tough. It was a tough day of fishing. I don't think on an average day of musky fly fishing, I really don't think this was outside of the norm. It was in the median. It wasn't a bad day. It was probably trending towards bad, but wasn't past the median.
We still, in fact, I better preface that. There is never, ever a bad day that you get to spend on the river that you didn't fight other people on, that you got to fish all day long, and you honked in a huge freaking
That was a
that
tank.
was a pig.
I really wish we weren't fishing for muskies for in a tournament because I would have threw a.
I caught smallmouth. Brian in the back caught smallmouth. And not that we were fishing for them, but we still caught them.
There's a 4 or 5
like
pound
say,
smallmouth that
the
I
one
got, man.
You pulled in a pig.
Yeah.
What did we say? That it was like around 5 or 6 pounds.
It may have been 6. It was for sure 4. It could have been 6. I wish we weren't fishing for muskies because I would have thrown a scale and a tape on that one.
Absolutely. It was a beautiful fish. But anyway, so if we go out tomorrow and have the exact same day, I'm going to get on a plane Sunday morning with a huge smile on my face. And even if we went out tomorrow and don't catch anything, which isn't, that won't happen. But it won't.
Hey, man, karma's been putting a lot in.
We're putting the muskie in the boat tomorrow. But
Fuck yeah.
I'm just saying
I hope
I mean,
you're putting a muskie in the boat tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be
the
nice.
fucking Utah boys putting one in.
You can't beat that. I've always said, man, I would rather go fish all day on the river and never catch a thing, and I will be happier than if I had to, do anything else for that day.
Well, and I think that's a really good point to kind of circle around, wrap this bad boy up.
Yep.
The beauty of your boat is you don't have to be a fisherman.
Yeah.
I took my wife out on this thing 2 nights before you got 3 or 4. I can't. Too many vodkas and it's starting to blur together. There's sore arms and blurry minds. But I took the girls out. My wife and the two female short hairs. 12-foot raft. We floated 2.5 miles. We did like 3 hours. We went a fall sightseeing tour. I can't go anywhere on the river without a rod. I threw a little bit, and I, it's fall, so I cast for a little bit of muskies. Conventional.
Right.
Yeah. My dogs like to freaking go after baits, flies, whatever. They're not good boat dogs. Anything that moves, they love to chase. And my one dog, my older short hair, she sits at the front of the boat and she whines. Waiting for the fish to come out of the flipping water. She's like, why aren't you? And then she'll look at me after we go through a stretch, she whines for a little while and then she'll turn back, she'll look at me. And her and I have that connection. Like I just, all I have to do is look in her eyes and know exactly what she's thinking. And she knows what I'm thinking too. It's not a good deal. Like right. It's reverse. Like I can not be happy with my wife and be gutting it. Like nobody knows. And the fucking dog knows. I'm telling you, I love my wife, but like she could say something and not like I'm hating on the wife, but like it rubs you wrong and you just kind of gut that comment, like I'm going to bite this one. I'm not going to start the fight. I love my wife a lot and dog looks at me and she knows. She knows.
Get something out here I can chase or give up or something.
Stop fighting with take me fucking for a walk. I don't want to listen to you fight with the old lady.
Get me out of this damn boat and let's hunt some shit. I got you.
That one definitely. The other one, if she didn't take after her sister so much and like be such a good like learning student in that way. She would be a wonderful boat dog because I could get her it's the strangest thing.
What you're saying is if she wasn't such a terrible boat dog, she'd be a great boat dog.
No. That's the old dog. My 3-year-old short hair still has potential. I just cannot take her on the boat anymore with the older dog. She's going to learn way too much. There's still potential to lay underneath my feet. The first time I took that, she's got like motion sickness a little bit, my younger short hair. And she just wasn't sure what was going on. And she laid down. And then ever since she's built some more confidence on the boat.
Yeah.
And now, drift boat, whatever canoe, whatever we took her on. And And now she's starting to do the whining thing.
She's like,
Oh, I want fish. I want fish come out of the water.
Something.
And there's funny as shit, man. I think you guys tagged me in one, or otherwise freaking, Cataract tagged me because I tagged them as well.
Right.
The fish pointers.
I think I
The fish pointers. Yeah. They look in the water.
Yeah.
They're waiting for me to pull a fish out. It's the funniest thing. But it's not fun to fly fish with. It's not fun to regular fish with. So, yeah, back to circling this back around.
Yeah.
Like, my wife and I just took the dogs out on the boat, dude. I floated from point A to point B, or, take it out on the lake.
Sure.
The versatility of this thing, like, my farm, where you saw the stream down the road. My brother and I floated that. I'll drive you by the flowage. I've taken the thing out there and just I get an hour.
Yeah.
Like, just run it down, drop it in the water. It's a regular boat ramp. Just roll myself out. There's nice fish in there. I was just going to say that. And you roll myself around, do a little fishing, kill a little time, and you can take it on a lake.
Yeah.
You can take it on a river.
Well, talking about versatility, and so
It's not just built for fly fishermen.
Yeah, I'm just going to give a plug here just because I can.
Go for it, man. Yeah, this is open air, man.
So, man, keep watching us on Instagram.
I want to hear about some of the hunting stuff I've heard about.
No, don't try to goad me into that this quick. Yeah. We're coming. And so keep an eye on us, on Instagram, right here in the next month and a half, for sure by spring. We've gotten hooked up with some guys in Idaho that would just blow your mind.
2022 season?
2022 season. First of 2022 season.
Some of the shit I heard you talk about on the phone. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Oh,
yeah, I don't want to go, John.
We're not. We're
even
holding off on it. But
no, seriously, what I heard you on the phone was something completely different than I'm going to say. But just being up here in the Northland with all these little pothole lakes around, all the duck huntermen, they're dude, you can drop
duck hunting and stuff is just.
But you can drop.
We're
20 grand on a fucking boat.
Oh, yeah.
And you can go down the road and buy a $500 boat that probably leaks to half hell, and then you got to throw a shithole motor on it. Or you can buy a quality boat for a very reasonable price and get multiple uses on it. That's the kick-ass part, man.
So some of the stuff like that I can talk about. So we're going to be coming. We will be coming out in 2022. We're working right now.
So we're doing an unveiling.
We're going to unveil a little, but we're working on some stuff to where you can get a mud buddy on this boat, so that you can go fish those marshes and stuff with a motor on and get back in there and not worry about beating. Or spending 10 grand on a flat bottom boat that you're
quick plug though, dude. I mean, you look at your competitor in the market space. I'm not going to name them.
Oh.
No, let's not. Why?
Yeah.
Why give them any fucking deal?
Right.
You run a full deal, high quality strength fucking frame on your. They don't even freaking compete.
Yeah. Well, anything.
Plus, your boat's more stable and wider. I mean, we don't need even to get in that. You're dealing with innovation. You've got a much more customer service fronted business.
Absolutely. Well, or look at, if you look at the one thing that sets us apart from everybody else is that we build these boats. So we are 100% of, we fabricate the frames. We design the frames. We build the frames. I'm not sending these out to somebody else to build for me. We build them. If you, as a customer, or if you have an idea, that you need to have built, we're gonna figure it out. You want double seats in the front, done. You want to make a change in the back, if it makes sense, done. We're coming out with those things to where we can make those options possible.
We got a little talk then that if I don't want double seats in the front, but I might have if it got a couple changes in the front from, maybe a height perspective, I might want to talk to you about.
There's definitely,
but I don't want to deviate. You're trying to get a little bit more standard in your offering.
Our standard boat, the one that we sell right now, that's our standard boat.
Yep.
And we've worked really hard to come up with that frame, and it's a fly fishing frame, and it's a sightseeing frame, and we feel that it's like pretty solid.
It's solid.
That's the base. But what I'm saying is, we have a customer that says, we'd like to be able to. We want to use this more for our family and just float the river. We need 2 seats in the front. And I says, well, what if we do this and change this and put 2 seats in the front? And he says, done. That's what we need. I said, that's an option now on our boat. And so we will be producing a double seat front that's flat, not raised, like our fly fishing frame is. And that will be
and let's caveat that. I mean, the fly fishing frame is built the way it is so that if a guy wanted to sit and cast in the front of the boat, he can do that. Yes, and it's high enough, it's comfortable, it's fucking kick-ass, man. I'm not gonna lie, I cast my musky fly out of the front, sitting down today, not a problem. It is more designed to sit and cast than it is to stand and cast. And we ran into that a little bit today. I mean, I'm not one, I'm sorry, man.
No,
I'm not one to, just call it like it is.
Sure, absolutely.
But we're in an area where have never been before.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm hoping your experience here brings some real value to you as a boat builder, man.
Anytime I get out on new water like this,
exactly,
and you saw me, we talked about stuff. I went, hey, this maybe we need to look at this for this situation. And whether or not we make a change right now, I don't know. But it's just the fact that we need to take a look.
It's out of your Green River box.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's out of your Green River box and live in your customers' kind of shoes. And that's so important as a businessman. Yeah. It's why all of these big businesses get out of touch with their customers. And it's what I've really personally, gravitated to. You've been so open to me as a customer. We've talked about the podcast and, I'm a guide, and there's certain kind of,
there's a lot of things
industry kind of head nods and stuff like that.
Doing other stuff as well.
But I mean, there was no real, hey, we're gonna pay you to sit here and talk about our product, man.
I'm not paying you.
No, that's what I'm kind of trying to get at. There's
absolutely
I paid for one of your boats.
Sure.
You helped me out a little bit with shipping.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like, hey, here's a free boat. Give me a test ride. No. Write a bunch of reviews and, do all this shit on Instagram for me. It's like, no, I had to buy a boat. And like, I put my money where my mouth is. Yeah. And I'm not ashamed of that. Yeah. And I, here we are fishing for muskies, hucking freaking 4-aught fly, flies, just doing stuff that rubber boats that most people have a perception on. They're not meant to do this shit. Right. And your boat
is born for that.
Born for it. It's why I bought it.
And that's the thing. Like I say, we keep running off on different things because we could talk all night about it. But the duck hunter. So 2022,
the diversity, man.
You will see some stuff coming out that'll be lots easier for the duck hunter. Being able to put a Mud Buddy type motor on that boat.
What's your boat rated for right now?
And then take it the next day for a motor wise.
Yeah, you can put a motor on it today, right? You can
put a motor on it. It's got a motor mount on it. Right now it's a 5-horse outboard motor, with a Mud Buddy on it because they're designed different.
It's a lot more topward weight.
And the way we're going to mount it on there, it will be able to take a lot bigger, motor and be able to go and get into places quicker. The other thing about it is that, you could leave that Mud Buddy motor on and go fish or go hunt ducks one day in the swamp with that and pull it right off, take it to the Green, take it to the St. Croix, take it out here to the Flambeau, whatever, drop it in that, keep the motor up and row it all day long. and never miss a beat fishing for whatever you want. Take it out, and the next day be back out in the swamp with the motor on the boat.
Yeah.
Now, caveat, the part that I'm not telling you about is the hunting capabilities of this boat for so much more. We've been working with guides out of Idaho, with the Get Hushing guys, and we're developing some things for this boat that will take it totally out of the fishing in and launch it in such a great way in the utilitarian to be able to transport things that you would never have thought of transporting in that boat. That even when I heard it, I asked those guys, I said, "Are you guys screwing with me?"
I heard you say
are you kidding me? Because it wasn't even in my, thought. And these guys were like, "Yeah, we do this. We need this. We need this. We need this. We need this. Would you figure out how we do that?" And I said, "Absolutely." And we've got the prototype just about done. They actually will receive their boats. And again, they bought boats and then talked to us about what can we do. It wasn't that I approached them and said, "Hey, would you guys help promote this? Would you guys help do this?" They just see a great product and bought a boat and then said, "This is what we'd like to do with it. Can you help us out?" And we went, "You bet." And so we redesigned some of the frame to do what they want to do as well. And it's an add-on that will just one part unclips, another part clips in, which is another great thing about this boat, is that you buy a fly fishing boat, you want to go hunting the next day, you unclip some stuff, you put some stuff on. Now I've got a casting platform. I don't need the casting platform. Unclip it, put the seat back on, and now I could pull the boat, or I could put a motor on the boat and go duck hunting. I'm not duck hunting today. Okay, I'll pull the motor off that and I'll put this back on and I'm ready to go. And it all pins. It's not that it takes you days to do it. You pull a couple pins, you slide a part off, you slide a part on, and back out on the water you go.
There's a modularity part to it. That's just
modularity of it.
I knew talking to you. Well, you and I are kind of.
Well, we drink a lot together now too. So
I don't know about that, but we definitely drink when we're together. No, there's a free flow of kind of personality, just the guard kind of came down when you and I. It was like a fucking guy I went to high school with. I hadn't seen in a while. I mean, you kind of knew each other, but you didn't know each other for the last 10 years. I'm comfortable talking to people, and that's important. I know a lot of people have, probably great ideas rolling around in their head, but they'll never get them out because they're too afraid of what they're going to maybe hear in feedback. I don't give a rat's ass what you think. I really don't.
And
I'm going, hey, this is how I'm using the boat.
Sure.
Maybe other customers might be using it like this.
Sure.
It might be of value to you.
And that's, all of that, whether we make, whether we make a change or not, all of that information is valuable to me because the changes that do get made are made based on the information that I've gotten back from everybody.
Yeah.
If you call me and tell me, "Hey, I got this great idea. I need a bracket right here." And, and looking at it, and maybe I'm like, "Oh, I can see where
you were telling me
they're cool for what you're doing," but that does it, it might not happen, but down the road I go, "Hey, we saw somebody else told me about a bracket or something or a change that was, went here, did this or did that." And I go, "Oh, if that and this and this, and we did this and it accomplished all of that and it makes sense, we're going to do it."
Well, and you've got the flexibility. That's the key.
Yep.
That's the key. You brought your product manufacturing from at least the frame standpoint in-house.
Yeah, everything from cutting to bending to welding to shipping to the rafts, everything will come in-house. I mean, I still have to import my rafts.
Yep.
I wish that was different, but I still, to stay and compete.
We discussed that, man. It's a tough deal.
It's just that. That's necessary.
It's a how many versus, cash flow and everything else deal.
As far as everything else is made right here in the United States, they're made at our home shop. I have 100% control now of.
And let's just caveat that too. And knowing you and talking to you, fishing with you for a day, spending plenty of time in the car together, if you had your druthers about it, you'd be using a U.S. manufacturer to even do the raft.
Oh, if I could build a raft myself, I would, and
but it is what it is,
and keep it affordable.
Yep.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Because I just would much rather have 100% U.S. built product.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that's not what I can do.
It's not the case.
Not what
but hey, if we
at some point, if we
maybe Amazing Outdoors helps you sell some more rafts, maybe you can do that in the future. I would support you guys. I mean, at least you have the mentality at heart. I think that's ready to propel you to that really truly the next level as somebody who's you're not just seen on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're out there as a cornerstone in the fly industry because your boat, I think, for what's coming in the fly industry, the traditional shit is done.
Yeah.
It's been shaken out. There's been a bomb thrown in. There's a bunch of people who just came into the industry, have never fly fished before. There's a whole lot of new coming. I'm just telling you, we don't even know what's coming. But these people who have never done this before, they have ideas that they don't even know have fucking came to fruition yet, and it's coming. Oh, yeah. And it's going to hit the industry, and you got to be ready for that. And I think you are so positioned to take advantage of that. Oh yeah. And I hope here in the Midwest, man, I want to see people riding river rats, and not your competitor and not drift boats, because I think, honestly, the drift boat was a kludge. I mean, it was hey, we have a need here in the Midwest for something other than a canoe.
Right.
But we don't know what it is. We don't know. Oh, wait, these guys out west got drip boat. Hey, let's go get some of them.
Yeah.
That's what it's been here in musky fishing on the rivers.
Right.
And smallmouth fishing. I mean, really, truly exploring these rivers here in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. There's untapped, unexplored rivers here that have not been figured out.
Right.
And I think your vessel affords a guy like me and anybody else who's willing to put in the work to go kick ass out there. Just go kick ass out there, man.
So maybe, and this would be a good way to maybe tie it all in. My vision for RiverRat when we started this 3 years ago, it was to create a community of people and really, change the way people do things, or give them, actually not for us to change the way, but to give people the opportunity to expand on what they're doing in a huge way that benefits them. And that's where I get a ton of my joy is or happiness is when you call me and tell me, oh my God, I was able to do this, this, and this, and this because of your boat, because I couldn't get another one in there.
Well, you saw.
That makes it for me. And with, and I've had that, and I hear that all the time. Oh my God, I've taken my guiding to a whole new level because I'm not waiting anymore. I'm actually floating with clients, and I'm, or I can.
Well, and your cost to entry for like a guy that wants to guide, just side street for a second, but like step back for a second. Somebody who's wade fishing, who might be out west, right? Who wants to guide and doesn't know what to put together, can't afford a drift boat. Dude, you're in the price range where he can take a swat at it.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing. Well, that's why I was like, it was so cool for me because it was I'm like, I got this drift boat, but there's so much water here that is canoe water that my drift boat ain't going to work in. And the next level here with how many people are coming in the internet, how many people want to fish, somebody's got to do something different.
Right.
And I saw that in your boat. It was, you'll offer me a competitive advantage that nobody else really has.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but I mean, I got to use it. I have to put it to utility to actually take advantage of that. But I saw that edge that I could, your competitors in the market space, your boat was still at that point where there were a few things that, it's smaller, it's lighter, it's easier for me to haul, it's easier for me to get anywhere compared to anything else that I saw on the market.
Well, and that sums it up with what I said as far as creating a community, with being able to, when I first started, I fell in love with fly fishing about 10 years ago. And it took me a long time to find, and that what you're talking about wasn't out there for me. I don't have a ton of money, and I couldn't go out and spend $10,000 to $18,000 on a drift boat to get on the river, and I had to figure out how to do that. And I found out, man, that fly fishing.
Oh my God!
So expensive, right?
You saw me complaining all day long about a piece of graphite.
Yeah, but it's true in the fact that that some of this equipment, the better the equipment, the better the whole experience is, right? And I get it. So that was part of the whole thing, was to create the best product for the dollar that we could do, and as much that was combined as that we could do, and still keep it in a price point that was affordable for everybody, and not trying to hit the elite. I'll let our competitors go out and hit the elite. You want to go after the U.S. fly fishing team, go. I would much rather have 2 boats, or 3 boats on the river every weekend with people with smiles on their face, then I would be able to say, oh yeah, I supply boats to the U.S. Fly fishing team. That's just not who I am.
Yeah,
I'm an average guy. I just want to get the best piece of equipment in. And I always tell the people that work for us, they're like, oh, we need to do this. And I'm like, no, we're not. We are selling a community. We are creating a community. And the boat is just how we do it.
Yep.
Really. I like the community. I want to create this big family feel community.
Well, you picked the right name.
right. I love that. But that's the whole thing. And, we all joke in my office, because my whole thing is, everybody that buys a boat, they need to get the retort, well, thank you and welcome to the River Rat Pack. Because who doesn't want to be part of the Rat Pack? Right?
Yeah, right.
And so we're the River Rat Pack, and that's what's important to me, is connecting. Use this. The boat is a tool to connect people all over the United States.
Well, and I think kind of in it's a different paradigm from maybe you to think, but I see this a lot here in the Midwest and a lot with fishermen in general. I think, utilized correctly, your boat can kind of help bring down those barriers. You think about fishermen, man, like here,
Sure.
you're fucking musky fly fishing, dude. You think anybody wants to talk about where they're fishing? But your boat can be that icebreaker between two fishermen that goes, hey, where'd you fish? And all of a sudden now, because you have that same boat, and it's beyond that. So building that community, breaking down those barriers, I think long-term, man.
Well, you talked to what, 2-3 guys tonight that they don't know us. We didn't know them, but they knew what we were doing. And
they didn't even have one of your boats.
They knew who we were.
Yeah.
And hey, and my name's so-and-so and blah, blah, blah. And we were talking, and it wasn't that they were trying to ask us about our boat. They were friends already.
Yeah.
And that's how they felt.
Yep.
And we talked about just fishing.
Yep.
It wasn't about the boat.
No.
It was just about fishing and how can we get, what can we do? What didn't you see? What did you see? how can we do this? And and I am interested in a boat.
Yeah.
Great. Come talk to me about a boat. And this is what we were using, and this is where we were at, and this is how we were doing things. And we had those conversations.
Yep.
That's the part of RiverRat that I like.
Well, and I think
that's what we're trying to create.
To bring it home, to wrap it up, I mean, honestly, moving forward as a community, I really, really do think that, the whole secretive aspect of things, I get it with like your biggest competitors, the fishermen that are going to go in and rape your spot. I get that, but like not everybody is like that.
Sure.
And if you just extend the hand or share a little bit of information, break down that barrier.
Exactly.
All of a sudden now other people are experiencing some of the great things that you have. And there's this bigger, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than the boat. It's bigger than us as fishermen. It's about conserving the areas we love. It's about making sure there's fish there for your next of kin and everything else, It's that big message. And
I've talked to my people in the office, Kylie, and that when they're talking to people, and I'm like, no, it's so much bigger. The whole concept of RiverRat is so much bigger than just our little boat.
Yeah.
And I say little boat just because but so much bigger than just a boat. I mean, you are tapping into a growing, and it's growing exponentially, daily, monthly community of people that you can tap into. And I see people talk about areas to fish, how to fish,
how to rig your boat.
Forth. Yeah.
Yeah,
I see you have this on your boat. Why would you do that? What good does that? What is that? And they, it's
and the versatility of the rafts. Like, there's so many different ways you can skin it. So there's so many multitudes of different levels. And it kind of close this out. And why we're here, why you and I are fishing together today, why we're still drunk and bullshitting an hour and 37 minutes into it. Your message and my message really gravitated towards each other. It's this thing that, hey, let's inspire people to go out and find that love for the same passion that you and I have, so that I don't know, I can't leave this world and go, hey man, I took all this off the earth and I didn't give anything back. I didn't give anything back to the people who helped me build the character and be the person I am today. And I get that from your company, and I'm trying to do the same thing with my company. And the Lord, he said, teach a man to,
give a man a fish and
eat
for a day, or teach a guy to fish and he'll feed his family forever.
It's a parable, man.
Absolutely.
It's not about fishing. It's about the concept of building something bigger than you to inspire people to be better.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much growth and so much opportunity within our community as a fishing and hunting community to take that, what was our grandfathers, traditions, build them and bring this kind of new respect for nature, and not just be about catching limits and shooting limits and that kind of, but understanding what makes up a good landscape to hold that quarry that we really love to chase. And then, teaching people why it works together, And it's that I hear where you're coming. I know the message deep down inside. It might not all be coming out the same way I'm trying to say it.
Might not,
but we've had a few cocktails.
Yeah, absolutely.
The heart is there, and that's really the key where I wanted to bring it home. I mean, you gotta have some heart to be on the river this time of year and be hucking deer hair.
It is. It's about heart and connecting. And like I say, we've been trying to get together for 6 months now to go, just to do some fishing.
Yep.
It wasn't about the podcast. It wasn't about anything like that. It was just about getting together and meeting a client or meeting a customer and seeing what he's all about. And in the interim before getting out here, Bryan and I have been able to forge a friendship, and I get where he's at with Amazing Outdoors, and I buy into it 100% and support that 100% because it aligns with us as River Rat, and it aligns with my heart and my feel for what I want to do, propelling going forward, and that's the part that we're all about. I mean, check us out. We're on YouTube.
Yeah.
River Rat Fishing and Boats on YouTube.
Feel free to reach out me.
Yeah.
Any questions. You can come take a look at my raft if you're anywhere in the Midwest. Like, it's here.
We're on Instagram, at RiverRatUS. Check us out. Check out, South Dakota Fly Girl, Amazing Sports,
Smalley Talk Podcast.
Smalley Talk Podcast. Give a whirl down and talk to Bryan Walker down at the Smallmouth Alliance, Ozark Smallmouth Alliance.
And then you got somebody down here in Southwest Wisconsin too.
Pete
down
there. Yeah, Pete at I can't think of what his Instagram is, but check those guys out.
There's plenty of people to reach out to. Is kind of like
just a real quick. Ryan is doing some at the Ozark Smallmouth Alliance. Ryan is doing some awesome things with smallmouth habitat and awareness, and
I'd like to hook up with him, man. You have to hook me up with him.
And doing some things down there that are just phenomenal.
I want to get down to Missouri.
Follow him on Instagram and check out what he's doing. Cindy Cups, his girlfriend down there, does great things with these like Yeti cups that are
no shit.
Oh man, they're all custom built. Check her out. She's awesome. But and that's enough plugging, for Instagram. But though everybody that I've mentioned is part of this bigger picture, and they're working on a higher level of things are just bigger than
catching fish, man.
And they're catching fish. They're changing lives. That's the thing that we're about. Check us out. Follow us. Not to keep rolling on, but like I say, there's just some great people that we work with. Check us out.
We're gonna catch some musky tomorrow.
The
drum roll.
I like it. Let's do it.
Oh yes, let's play. Well, maybe we will be back drunk again tomorrow night for round 2 with a few points on the board for the River Rat team today.
But if not, thank you, Bryan.
Hey.
Amazing Outdoor for hosting a great time out here fishing.
You got to come back for Smalley season.
Oh, I definitely will be back. I'm hooked on the Smallies.
You know what? I think we should. I think we should get you together. I think you should invite those boys out from the Smalley Talk podcast, and we'll see who posts a better time. Because I have a rivalry. I think we got better water than Indiana.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm open. You put it together. Let's get Ryan and Josh and Eric from the Smalley podcast and Ozark Smallmouth Alliance. Let's all get together.
Let's go do a freaking couple day float on the Croy.
Figure out
let's go do it.
We'll all meet there. We'll do a 2 or 3 day float, and let's just tear it up.
Let's do a Midwest bash.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Midwest bash.
I think we can rub a few other people into
it. You guys are all invited out to the spring fling for River Rat in March.
You'll have to keep me posted. I'll definitely.
We did it last year or this year in March was our first year of doing it. We're just going to make it annual. It was epic. We had about 30 people come out. We fished.
No shit.
Oh, we fished in Wyoming. It was phenomenal. Cold as hell, but it was so phenomenal. We caught huge fish. We're going to do it again this year or next year, 2022. Hit me up if you're interested. We'll get you out here and fishing some big fish. So big
bows,
big rainbows.
Yeah.
It's totally unhooked.
I'm gonna have to come out and check it out. It depends on what part of the country I am in March, though. You start talking cold.
It wasn't that bad.
I'm wearing my Snooks t-shirt, our Snooks shirt right now.
I'll tell you what, on this stretch of river that we always go fish, I have taken the Nestea plunge both years in March when we've been out there, and not a little nesty plunge. And it isn't because of the boat. I was outside of the boat both times I took the plunge. So anyway, you want to see me go in the water? And
you were telling me on the you were telling me on the way up you make some wicked wine.
Well, that's a totally new.
We're not gonna go down there, but
that's a totally new podcast.
It's just a little teaser for buy a river rat. You get to know Bryan.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by, man. Let's we gotta. I think both of us are empty here. We gotta chat about where the hell we're gonna fish in the morning. So, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate everything. Really, truly everything you've done. I mean, I think long term we're gonna carve out a nice little partnership here. But
it's been fun.
At least a fishing partnership, man.
Oh, absolutely. I'll go fish anytime. So
awesome.
It's been fun.
Well, I'll make sure to include all your information in the show notes so people can, either reach out to me or reach out to you guys directly and find out any information, contact, boat, whatnot, community, what-wise.
Perfect.
What-wise.
Whatever. It's late.
I've gone brandy, whiskey. Now I'm on to vodka. This is a rare form for me, so it's probably time to call her night. On that note, thanks everyone for listening to the Amazing Outdoors podcast. Bryan, thanks for stopping by, and it's been a good one. So we'll catch some muskies tomorrow.
Absolutely. Take care.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Amazing Outdoors. Make sure you check out the Upland Outfitter pants. Be Relentless, man. They're kick-ass. I would not enter the woods with anything else these days. I even wore them in the tree stand while I struggled to find a bear this year. Make sure you join your local conservation effort. It's fall. Rough Grouse Society needs your money. Everybody needs your money. Check your memberships. Make sure you renew. Be willing to put back. That's my big message. I'm not going to preach too much today. I got some cool stuff in the works. I'm going to sit down here with Jason from Uplnd Outfitters. We're going to get an update as we launch this season 2. He's a part of this. Find out what he's got going on for the fall. He's been out fighting fires out west. So got some neat stuff there. Also got a few other hunting related podcasts up here in the works. So make sure you like, share, subscribe so you can get the latest content here and you don't miss any of the new shows I have coming up. Thank you again for listening to the podcast. I would appreciate it if you can subscribe and, leave a comment. I really appreciate it if you could do the review thing. That helps us both to hear and attract new listeners. Shoot straight. We'll see you out in the field.